2023 gave us some absolutely unbelievably good movies, likes of Gran Turismo, Oppenheimer, and the list goes on and on. However, we also saw some stinkers likes of Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny, Transformers Rise of the Beasts, and even like, I don't know, fucking the Marvels. It has been probably a mixed year of cinema simply for the fact that we're seeing more sequels, prequels than we are seeing of blockbuster movies, in which is completely different to that of the years and decades gone by of the 80s, 90s, and even the early 2000s to an extent, was not prequels, sequels, and the rest of it weren't dominated by them. We saw new introduction of movies that dominated cinema. However, now we seem to be seeing more superhero movies, more prequels, sequels, and the list goes on and on. And to me, there must be something wrong with modern day cinema. I personally believe it's because movie companies are looking at it from a figure standpoint instead of what the fans actually want. As to me, I think they're looking at going, okay, if we put 100 million into a new project and it fails, they're going to lose probably most of that money. However, if they put 100 million into an Expendables 4, for example, I don't know how much they spent on Expendables 4, but let's say if they put Expendables 4, 100 million, and they said, do the work, and it turns out it's a failure, at least they're going to recoup 50 million because a lot of people are going to go and see that movie just because of the big names are in there like Stallone, and just because people that watched Expendables 1, 2 and 3 might have enjoyed that. I don't know. But to me, I feel that there is a bigger risk to take in introducing a new movie, and this is why cinema is the way it is now. And to me, I don't think it's a lack of creativity this year neither, for people trying to use that as an excuse. I don't think it's a lack of creativity. I think it's a lack of direction from the companies, because I think there is writers out there that could write like fucking crazy and put out some of the greatest movies of all time. But they're not writing the greatest movies of all time. They're writing sequels, they're writing prequels that don't need to be there and putting half-assed efforts in there. Whereas to me, if they slow down on the sequels and prequels and start putting more money into, let's say, a new fresh project, I think they would get a lot more out of their money that they're spending, and you'd see a lot more of these movies going down in history as some of the greatest of all time. On the evidence that new blockbuster movies could actually still work, of the fact of last summer, if you remember, take yourself back a few months ago, we saw Barbie and Oppenheimer going for that glorious position of probably one of the best movies of the year, and they versed up against each other, and it was one of those moments where you thought, you've got to go and watch one of them, or you've got to go watch both of them. And to me, I ended up going to watch Oppenheimer, and it was like one of the things you've either got to see both or you've got to see one of them, and it was such a big moment for cinema that won't ever be forgotten about. I don't think we'll see anything like that again. However, it shows that more people are wanting to see blockbusters over superhero movies, because I believe superhero movies have actually lost a lot of money this year, superhero companies, because of poor sequels and things like that. There's been some good ones, don't get me wrong, like Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and I don't mind The Flash. The Flash was actually quite good. But other ones have absolutely bombed in comparison to others. Whilst on the superhero topic, I feel there's an over-reliance on superhero movies in the past 5 years, 5 or 6 years, since probably Endgame came out, to deliver massive superhero movies. However, I don't know if you've noticed, not every movie is like Endgame. And to me, I haven't seen hype in a superhero movie probably since, I would say, Spider-Man No Way Home. That was the last time I could really sit down and say there was hype walking into the cinema for a superhero movie. In which shows now, a lot less people are getting on the hype train of superhero, and that train is suddenly going away. And what I think that we're going to go back to is blockbuster movies. However, I think it needs to happen sooner rather than later, because superheroes tried to dominate which have dominated, let's be right, for the past 5 years. However, in those 5 years, we haven't seen as many bigger other movies outside of superhero, and I think it's time for superhero to still release movies, but with higher quality and less of them. Let us know down in the comments down below whether you agree or disagree with anything we've said in this video, because honestly, I think that a lot of things have annoyed me about 2023 movies. There has been some good, but the bad things overshadow the really good things about 2023, and it's time for a change. I think it is definitely time for a change in 2024 with better movie quality, less sequels, less prequels, and more big blockbuster movies. That's what we want to see. So let us know down in the comments down below whether you disagree, you agree with what I've said in this video. Let us know your thoughts on this down in the comments down below, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Laters.